What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Value Hunting. Game Week 12 on SoRare NBA is about to tip off tonight. So what we're going to do is go through Momentum Labs spreadsheets and try to identify a couple of value plays to help us fill out the rest of our lineups. SoRare has introduced another tournament. So we've got a limited Eastern Conference. They did the Western Conference this past week, and now they've introduced the Eastern Conference. So we got to get even more stuff to fill up these lineups. And as always, if you're brand new to SoRare, sign up using our link below in our show notes. It'll immediately get you 20 free common cards. You don't have to spend a freaking dollar, and you can play for free. You get a new card every day, which is pretty exciting. And then if you buy some stuff, if you buy 5 things off the auctions, you get your 6th one free. It also makes us look good, and we're all about appearances, baby. You know what I'm saying? And just a reminder, too, if you're catching this today, if you're not catching this today, this was useless. But today's Monday, the 28th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be back for Live Before Lock. We're giving away a rare tiered card. And we're going to just kind of go over all the injury news as it comes out to build out our lineups. But let's get into it. Again, we're going to be using Momentum Labs. You can find, again, in the show notes, a link to sign up for Momentum Labs. Get behind that paywall, and we can dive in. And if this is your first time hanging out with value hunting, just so you know, we're focusing mostly on the players with a cap of 20 or less, right? It's easy to be like, yeah, let's play Luka, let's play Steph. Yeah, congratulations. That does make sense. But what we're going to do is scroll down to a cap of 20 and see, again, these are projections too. So be like, hey, who's projected to get to 25 and you only get 18? Like, that's going to happen sometimes. It's projections. But we're going to try to see if anything sticks out here. Anything pops in that green. Here we go. We start with 20 right away. Jalen Smith from Indiana. Seth Curry. Seth Curry's coming off over the weekend, went 7 for 10 from 3, scored 29 points in 29 minutes. He seems to be healthy. He's questionable on the second night of a back-to-back, so we got to pay attention to that just because he was fresh off an injury, so they might limit him a little bit. Jalen Smith, the Pacers thing is tough, right? Because some games you're going to get a Miles Turner's game, some games you're going to get an Isaiah Jackson game, and then some games you're going to get a Jalen Smith game. But it's hard for them all to hit. However, if one of those two or one of those three sit, the others pop pretty aggressively. So a cap of 20 with a projection of 26. We don't hate it, but we're going to keep looking here. We got Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks is popping quite a bit here with a cap of 19 and projection of 29. The Knicks thing is kind of weird with Isaiah Hartenstein, with Jericho Sims. Again, some of those guys might be dinged up a little bit. Let's actually see if Hartenstein is still playing, and Sims looks like Jericho Sims is dinged up. So maybe that's why Robinson is popping a little bit more. That's not my favorite play. Listen, Mitchell Robinson has a ton of upside. And the reason being is that he is a block machine, right? So he picks up blocks and steals at a pretty fast rate. The problem is Mitch Rob gets in foul trouble a lot, and he loves to get hurt. Big injury guy. So it's kind of tough to bank on Mitchell Robinson. But again, he's popping. Justice Winslow. Listen, we all thought, right, myself included, when Dame went down, Shaedon Sharpe is going to move into at least more minutes. But what we've been seeing is it's Jeremy Grant who's been popping, Yusuf Nurkic who's been popping, Anthony Simons. But the value guy has actually been Justice Winslow. One of the things that's nice about Justice, we love Justice here. One of the nice things about Winslow is that he does a lot of the peripheral shit, right? So he does some playmaking, so he's going to load up on some assists. He'll get some rebounds. He'll get a steal, a block here and there. And if he gets real-life points, awesome. But we don't bank on it. Justice Winslow, I kind of like this one a little bit more than Mitchell Robinson. Both similar cap. Looks like they're limited. Both of those are going for 15, and there's a point difference in projection. So Justice Winslow to me feels like a little bit safer. Mitchell Robinson probably has a higher ceiling just because of that big block steal energy. All right, Jalen McDaniels, Jose Alvarado. Alvarado's pretty dependent on the CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram news. With CJ missing some time, Alvarado's popped a little bit over the weekend. And then clearly with Ingram potentially missing some time, we're going to have to pay attention to that New Orleans injury news. So we'll stay tuned for that. They have 2 games. So that's 2 games. That's kind of nice for that. But yeah, if CJ or Brandon Ingram miss time, if CJ's back and Ingram's out, I honestly like CJ and Zion a little bit more. But if CJ's out, Alvarado will definitely pop. Dorian Finney-Smith, I'm not touching the Mavericks. Christian Wood, actually, we should have a conversation about him. He's maybe a little bit better conversation for tonight with Live Before Lock. The Mavs have 2 games this week. Christian Wood started ahead of Dwight Powell in the second half of that game against the Bucks last night. clearly, the Mavericks need help. They have no one doing anything besides Luka. So maybe Christian Wood gets a little bit more run. So it might be like the last time to buy low on him. Let's actually pull up Christian Wood. What's his Christian Wood is a cap of 26 and a projection of 38, right? So that's actually pretty nice. That's pretty nice. All right, where did we just leave off on? Alvarado. All right. Keep scrolling down. The next one that pops here, we got Shake Milton. So he's going to limit it. His like low ask is $43. That is not a deal anymore. So Shake over the weekend, I think scored a combined 51 points between his two games. He's been awesome with no Harden and no Maxey. He's like forced to do a lot of the offense. We do think Embiid's going to come back. So that doesn't mean Milton can't produce. He's still going to be doing a lot of the facilitation. He's still going to get a lot of shots up. He's probably not going to get 25 to 30 real life points with Embiid coming back. His cap's also crept up a little bit now. So he's got a cap of 18 and projection of 32.5. Listen, if you have Shake, play him. Not financial advice. I'd probably flip him. Now's the time to flip. But there you go. I would not be buying Shake Milton for $43. And again, these were updated as of 8 a.m. this morning. So the prices might be a little bit off. Next, we've got Colin Sexton. We saw him move into the starting lineup. He's got what is that? Wow, look at his hair. His hair's out of control. I apologize. We're going to get the headband back. He's got a cap of 18, a projection of 23. Sexton does one thing really well, and that's score. Nice. But he's not going to get you a lot of the other stats. I feel like you can find a better spot. So far of these high-end value guys, Shake Milton, if you got him, shake him if you got him. Alvarado and Justice Winslow, probably my favorite plays so far. We got Jeremy Sohan. We're not going to talk about him because we talk about him every week. AJ Griffin's cap's gone up a little bit. He seems to be like the one bench guy for Atlanta while Bogdan stays out. Bogdan, they announced over the weekend, there's still no update on his timetable, like no timetable for him to return. So AJ Griffin's still going to get more run. If he keeps producing off the bench, he's going to get more and more of a leash to do some stuff. And the Hawks team had a tough weekend this weekend. So I don't know. Maybe we see a little bit more from AJ Griffin. Walker, Kessler, whatever, IO, whatever. All right, that's the 17 range. Keegan Murray, he's got a cap of 16 and projection of 21.9. Keegan, we haven't really seen a ceiling from him since, preseason. So I don't know. Pay attention to that. Josh Richardson's there. I'm not touching the Spurs situation, honestly. Like if I'm playing a Spur, I want it to be either Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, or someone with like a cap of 5. That's really what I'm trying to do here. Nicholas Batum, Pat Bev, who's suspended for 3 games. So don't pay attention to Pat Bev. Down here, we got Dyson Daniels. So again, this is going to be all that injury news, right? So if we see the Pels are missing a bunch of guys, Dyson Daniels is going to pop. Otto Porter Jr. left with a foot second toe. What did that say? Huh? Otto Porter Jr. is not my favorite play. Like, even if he's in, I'm more interested in Chris Boucher. I'm more interested in Koloko if he's healthy. Otto Porter Jr. just shoots threes, man. So he's going to have to get hot from 3. Trey Lat, whatever. None of these guys are really speaking to me, honestly. So we're going to keep scrolling. Dougie McBuckets, fine. Theo Maladon from Charlotte is popping a little bit. I'm imagining that's with the LaMelo injury. I'm actually going to pull up. The last couple of games on my own screen of Theo Maladon because I honestly was a little surprised by that. He's someone I used to play some daily fantasy sports with when he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder. But let's see what's Theo doing. All right. All right. So listen, he's played how many minutes? Ooh, I don't love this. 26 minutes. I mean, I know he had a good game last game. I don't know. That feels risky to me. Theo Maladon's probably not my favorite. But he's projecting well. He's got a limited low risk of 30. I don't know. I don't love this, guys. I'm not into this as much. Maxi Kleber, Terrence Ross. None of these guys, honestly, none of this is exciting. This shit's starting to get hard. This is starting to get hard again. We should talk about this for a second. I feel like now rotations have evened out a little bit. People like your Shake Miltons, your Paul Reeds, their cap has gone up a little bit, so that value isn't as sharp as it once was. So it's going to be a little bit trickier finding some of these spots. We should talk about Jalen Noel a little bit. So he was a darling. He was a darling early in the season, and then like his cap caught up to him. Then he played pretty poorly. The Wolves are in a weird spot right now. They need a little spark plug off the bench. He provides that. He's got a low ask of 7 so like for $7, a cap of 11, a projection of 17. I don't hate it. So Jalen Knowles, someone I'm going to pay attention to a little bit. I don't mind taking a cheap dart throw. You're seeing Landry Shamet face as a low ask of 4. PJ Tucker, I know his cap's going down. PJ Tucker looks washed, so I won't be touching PJ Tucker. Quentin Grimes, second week in a row, popping. He's got a projection of 18, a cap of 9. I believe Quentin Grimes played quite a few minutes in the last couple of games. I believe he's moved into the starting lineup. He hasn't really done too much with his workload, but it's worth, that seems to be a solid projection for that cap, right? So the last couple of games he's played last 4 games, 32 minutes, 33 minutes, 30, 26 minutes. He's been doing shit, man. He's been scoring, let's see, like 5 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 7 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 8 points, 5. So you're not going to get much, man. You're not going to get much. He's not even taking like 3 or 4 threes a game, 7 to 10 field goals a game. I don't know. Maybe you run a little bit hot. Quentin Grimes here, we get a low ask of 15. That's come down a little bit. I remember that was a little bit higher last week. But again, if you just need to plug somebody in here, cap of 9, projection of 18, I don't hate it. Kendrick Nunn. So with the Patrick Beverley news, you see Kendrick Nunn gets a little bit more time. But what we've seen is like Lonnie Walker has been playing quite a bit and has been doing well with his minutes. Vlatko Kankar for Denver. I'm not sure why he's projecting as well as he is because I'm pretty sure Denver's relatively healthy now, unless I'm missing something. Moses Brown for the Clippers. Moses Brown, he's kind of like a mini Mitchell Robinson in that he's a pretty big fantasy point producer, even though he definitely makes your team worse. For $3, though, listen, if you want to go dart throwing, he's got a cap of 8, a projection of 10. He's probably not you're better off with Quentin Grimes here. Cap of 9, projection 18. Like Quentin Grimes is the one that sticks out the most. Here we go. Amir Coffey. It's come down to 19 a little bit. So Coffey moved into the starting lineup with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard missing time. And Coffey is interesting. I liked him a little bit more last year when he would, or maybe it was 2 years ago when he'd like move in for high minutes. The problem with this Clippers team now is there's just so many guys that put up shots. So like, yeah, Paul George and Kawhi are going to miss time, but like you still have, Reggie Jackson, John Wall, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum. Like there's just so many dudes, waves of dudes with the Clippers. So if you own Coffey, sure, it's fine. It's fine. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's popping a little bit here with the low ask of 7, cap of 6, projection of 13.5. Ooh, Kai Jones, baby. We've seen Kai Jones pop a little bit as of late. And there you go. Like limited. He's got a $8 here. Look at that value. Cap of 5, projection of 16.8. Is it Kai Jones season? And then Devon Reed. Am I missing something on? I'm going to go over to Twitter. Let's check out Underdog because maybe I'm missing something. Normally, not Underdog NBA, please. Normally I do this beforehand, but I was trying to get this up as fast as possible. So far we got Lamar Stevens and Kevin Love both listed as out. Jared Allen's out for the Cavs. All right, so we're immediately getting some Cav news. With Love, Allen, Stevens, Mobley becomes a really good play. It also might be Chetty Osman's season. Karis LeVert here's probable. We talked about Kemba. Let me just see if there's any Nuggets stuff here. Mo Bamba and Terrence Ross won't return. Bol for the Magic. Where am I missing stuff? Chris Paul. The Chris Paul injury continues. Anthony Davis. All right, so we got 4. All right, Bones is questionable, but that's the only real Nuggets thing that I'm seeing here. CJ McCollum is out tonight, and Brandon Ingram is doubtful. So that, man, your Pelican stuff is hot for the Pelicans. All right, so reacting to the Pelican stuff, again, I should have done this beforehand. I apologize. Reacting to the Pelican stuff, that is why Jose Alvarado becomes a really good play. Najee Marshall becomes an interesting play. Trey Murphy becomes an interesting play. We also have Zion and Joe Val. And so the Pels are going to be a source of value today. All right. So like recapping here, Kai Jones, I kind of like. Devon Reed, I got to figure out what the hell's going on in Denver. But for me, Kai Jones is pretty sexy. I really like him. I like Jose Alvarado now a little bit more. Jalen Noel, I do think is a little bit sneaky for his price point because Jalen Noel just has some upside. Let's scroll a little bit more just so we can hit some of the greatest hits. Quentin Grimes, Jalen Noel, we mentioned him. I'm not buying the Maladon stuff. Kai Jones, we talked about. And then, yeah, guys, it's hard. This shit's hard this week. Shake Milton's still popping. Everyone's getting a little bit smarter in this game, and it's making it a little bit trickier for us sharks out there hunting. As always, hey, we're going to be back tonight at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Our man NBA Top Shot Talk, Mr. TST, who you've consumed his content, is going to be joining the show. We're going to be giving away a rare card. So come hang for that. I promise to be a little bit more prepared. But again, because we didn't have a value hunting episode while I was out traveling for the holiday. I hope everybody had a good holiday, by the way. But I wanted to make sure we get this out. So I'll see everybody tonight at 5:30.